Native currency joint popping.
You know,
Cool,
native
baby.
currency.
Come on.
Yeah, that's them joints is hot, man.
Thank you, thank you. Aussie ears in the back. We love, we love.
Yeah. Oh shit. I didn't even see that. Yes, sir. That's what's up, man. It's team, man.
Trying, man. I'm trying, man.
I love this family, man. Shit. Shit, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear us okay, man?
Yes, sir. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. It look good in there, man. Y'all like your shot set up, man.
Man, rush job, but thank you. Thank you. It was real junky, but I tried to pull it together.
Hey, shit, we got the merch everywhere and the tie, the businessman.
Hey, you know that.
I'm trying to get the
And
Turn it up, turn it up.
since we getting started,
We gotta do it through here. What'd you say? You said since we getting started,
yeah, I was just gonna get, the formalities out the way.
we gonna handle business?
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody welcome to Zorn Pitchfork's Watchlist featuring Yanni of House of Fluid Reflections. And today we'll be discussing episode 3 of the Disney Plus series Moon Knight. And before we get started, I want y'all to hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, join the conversation. Moon Knight is new to all of us, I think, and I would love to interact with some people who are familiar with the comics. So yeah, just do that. Hit us up, and we'd love to hear your comments.
So that's a beautiful intro, man. Shit. Leading by example, brother.
Hey man, I'm trying.
Yeah. So episode 3, man. I mean, initial
Yeah,
feeling.
my bad. Episode 3 is called The Friendly Type. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Friendly type.
Yeah. Yep, that was the name of it. Yep.
Oh, damn. You really setting it off today, huh? On point, in punto. What
Hey, I'm gonna get better every time, man. Cause I'm actually interested now. So
yeah.
like it's this episode I kind of like I got more of an understanding of what was going on. Because even if you look at the the thumbnail on Disney Plus, they have, if you look at that, they have Steven when he's in the suit, like that regular suit, he's in the middle. He's in the middle, but they have the Moon Knight with the moons on his chest on this side, then they have the regular guy on the right. I'm just wondering, what does that mean? Like, why is the nerdy one in the middle?
I mean, Steven did step up in that suit this time, though he got impaled, but he did try to, bring the heat again.
But didn't he did try, but then he was like, take the fight.
He conceded. He was like, all right, tap out. But that was hilarious, though. He was like, flag on the plate. Everybody take a fucking breath. Flag on the plate.
Yeah. So the episode started with Mark going to Egypt to track down.
Well, it started with Layla. We actually opened up to Layla, and that was dope how they opened up. We didn't know what we were looking at, that white, and then it opened up to her, getting her fake passport handled. So yeah, that's how it actually opened.
I forgot about that because they showed where they kind of explained that Layla and Mark, they kind of like deal in the black market with antiquities and that kind of stuff. That kind of made sense to me. Like, okay, this is what he does as a gig. That's how we work together.
Yeah.
But I think her dad was an archaeologist or something, right?
Yeah, her dad was an archaeologist, and it seems like they're tying together that either Mark killed her dad or had something to do with her dad dying. At least that's what Arthur alluded to.
I saw that part because when they were in the car, he was like, nah, he's trying to get in your head. Like, there's nothing else. And dudes, we know that That dude's lying, man. He's lying.
Yeah, I was about to say, how you feel about him saying that to her?
Huh?
How do you feel about him saying that? How did that hit you?
It hit me like, damn, Steven deserves her, not him.
Yeah. And I said that too. I was like, by the end, like seeing how each moment she falls more out of love with Mark, she seems to fall more in love with Steven. Because even when Steven came in to help them in the sand in the desert, the way that long lingered eye contact of like when she was like, Steven, and like I was like, her feelings definitely seem to be surmounting for him. Like there definitely seems to be building up for Steven, because again, Steven seems to have much more in common with her and be much more considerate and seems to be the more holistic, kind, loving side of these multiple personalities or alters, if you will. It seems really interesting what they're building there.
Yeah, playing off that, something that I was thinking that we should probably do, or that would be nice to do, is in the comments, if anybody's paying attention and really wants to go ahead and start this off, we should have a vote. Who's Team Steven? Who's Team Mark? Let's let everybody chime in. Tell us where they rocking, who they rocking with. Huh?
In terms of what? In terms of everything, or in terms of Layla?
Hey, we can say in terms of Layla if you want.
I'm Team Steven in terms of Layla.
Because you're not gonna answer.
Yeah, in terms of Layla, I say Steven too.
Yeah.
But
especially
real life,
trying to get the like somewhat of the combat. Like he's trying to figure out the potential superhero thing. And Mark is just like, Mark just might be a little bit too far gone, especially since he's not willing to at least have a conversation and like open up to, you know, what the tea really is, especially after that in the car, brushing it off like, he trying to get in your head, he bugging. But it was like, if you saw him when they were there, when Arthur made these accusations, he was just like, wow, you are so low down, like really, we're really about to do this. It's like, fam, you are really making yourself seem very, very much so guilty. This is very much so guilty behavior. You're giving
trying to expose me, yeah.
I mean, and see, one thing is with Mark, we're looking at the results.
Yeah.
Of a life, whatever that life may be.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really, because you can see like with Mark not trying, how he didn't want to hurt the kid.
Yeah, he didn't want himself. And it seemed
you can see that he's got something good in his heart, but he's just.
He and Steven had that in common. It was like they definitely showed Mark exhibiting much more Steven qualities in this episode. There were several moments where I noted that, like how he didn't want to kill the kid, how he wasn't.
Are you talking about the dude he stabbed, or the one?
Well, the one who cut his own tie. The last one. He was like, when what's his name said, take him to the edge, and he was like, but it's just a kid, and he was like, do it anyway. It's like that was not very characteristic of the Mark that we've known. But then also when he was in the chamber in front of part of the Ennead, the fact that he was allowed himself to humble enough and say, yes, I need help, that was a very Steven-like move. I don't see Mark having been that submissive as we've been introduced to him so far. So that was very much so Steven-esque too. The fact that he almost looked like he was about to cry when he admitted that, yes, it's true, I do have issues and I'm not well in the head.
So, how do y'all feel about Khonshu? Because to me, in this episode, it's clearer more than ever that Khonshu is a piece of shit. Like, Khonshu, what did I say?
Can you tell
Khonshu, I'm gonna tell you, Khonshu reminds me of MC8's character from Menace to Society. Like,
really?
Wow. Hey, homie, that?
Yeah, he just like to see other people doing dirt. Like he it seemed to get a kick out of, you know, take him to the ledge. Oh, I didn't think he would do that. You know, like real nonchalant about it. Like,
I mean, he's been alive for millions of years, so he's seen. This is nothing for him.
And I guess for him, it's on the like, out of Thanos type of thing. He's like, well, the greater good. I'm trying to stop them from resurrecting Ahmet, who finna kill billions. And so this one person who also turns out to be an Ahmet follower.
Have we ever seen any signs of compassion or love from Khonshu? Like he actually cares?
Nah, not yet. I don't think so. Except for the fact that he's trying to prevent a mass genocide.
But is he really?
Potentially, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the story is. That's what he's saying. But is he really trying to stop a mass genocide, or is there some other ulterior motive at play here?
I think because of the way they're writing it, it makes me think that he might be trying to do good, just because he risked himself getting encapsulated and knowing that helping Mark and everybody do this, he knew he was risking getting himself turned to stone. And would someone who knew that was going to be the outcome be willing to let themselves get petrified like that if it wasn't for a greater good? And then the way they showed us at the end that Arthur was still just like, actually, I'm a fucked up person anyway, and you helped me realize I really do like to do this fucked up shit. So it also seems like Arthur is the ultimate bad guy because he's also using Ahmet to also go and kill more people. And it makes us look back on all the other people he's taken life from because the scales said so, because he's now admitted that he gets off on it. And so is he resurrecting her just to be able to do more of this? Because he's already admitted now, like, this turns me on. Like, I love this. So I'm about to just do more of it. And technically it's because of you, because I was your avatar and you had me going around killing people, found out I liked it, and now I get to do it on a whole other level. And so now when we look back through all his stuff and all the people's lives that he's taken because of the scales, it's like, okay, he might just even now be using Ahmet as a cloak to do his own grimy.
Now, he's an avatar for another god, right? There's another god that's controlling him, and Ahmet is the what you call it, right?
Well, Ahmet's the one he's trying to resurrect, and that's who he says he's serving.
But who's controlling who is Ethan Hawke is with Ahmet, right?
Right, but because Ahmet is, I guess, essentially like how Conscious is right now, he only has a piece of her power, but it doesn't seem like he's imbued with her at the moment, because everybody else, when they have that like eyes light up and that God was speaking through them, that never happened for Ethan. He was just speaking on his own. Like Arthur was just speaking on his own, when all the other avatars had, the glowing eyes and their chest pop up when the God was speaking through him. Ahmet never spoke through him. It was just him on his own word. And he's wielding a lot of Ahmet's power, but it does not seem like Ahmet is actually using him as an avatar at the present moment. It just seems like he decided, I like this. I think I'm a roll like this.
Good points. I like that.
That's an excellent point.
As always.
And Ahmet, that's why I'm sticking with Ahmet. That makes me feel like that's who to stick with. Because remember when Khonshu was
genocide, killing babies.
But nah,
that's Arthur.
If the baby is Hitler, yeah.
Say the name. I was about to say New Hitler. I wasn't gonna say New Hitler.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there's that. Like, and that's what he said. She knows everything, and so if she knows that this baby is gonna be Hitler, I guess.
But think about what you said. Khonshu was talking through Mark, right? When they went before the gods. So, and he said he feels like he's the only one that didn't abandon mankind.
Right.
Remember that part? So the other gods are like, the man abandoned us. They left us alone. What are y'all? They saying they don't get in the affairs of man, like.
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel like Khonshu is really the devil. Like, like he's really on some manly, earthly.
He's meddling with mankind.
I can manipulate these people. Like the gods kind of like we give them the knowledge, they don't work with it, but we ain't fucking with them.
Yeah, we're over here in our paradise, Utopia.
That's interesting. I took it the other way because the guy, he was like, they're over here suffering and all this stuff has happened. And essentially, because how he had been using Mark, like, as a vigilante type, like, what Mark said, he was like, and that's what Arthur said. He was like, Khonshu comes too late, and Ahmet's judgment happens before the disaster. Khonshu comes too late. He avenges what's already happened. Amit comes beforehand. So I was looking at it as Khonshu is just like, I still care about these people and I'm trying to stop all this chaos from happening, but the rest of the gods were like, well, they don't believe in us and worship us anymore, so we just chilling where we at, and our avatars are just here to, you know, surveil and observe. And it's like, okay, well then what's the purpose of that? And I took it as like, so y'all just kind of getting your rocks off on using your avatars to do whatever in human form, whilst your god body is, you know, in your heavenly space, just big chilling. And Khonshu was like, y'all effed up for just being out here big chilling when all this chaos is going on Earth, and I'm sitting here by myself trying to be like, yo, they're worth saving, they're worth, you know, existing amongst, because that's pretty much what he's doing through Marcus, coexisting in Earth, trying to make wild stuff not happen. In my perspective, I could be wrong. I hadn't thought about it your way, about how Khonshu might just be stuck in the human mind frame and just trying to meddle doing devil stuff. So that's an interesting perspective.
I don't know, like I can see it both ways actually.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. It's a nice little balance they developed.
But I also think they're making Arthur out to be the biggest big bad, and he's just trying to manipulate just the power at play to ultimately serve his sick and twisted purposes. Because I also think if he was able to erect Amit, his judgment might just be just as screwy, especially since he's just admitted that he enjoys the blood sucking. Like, he's here for it. So I feel like Amit would also judge him, and he wouldn't survive if Amit was to do the scales on him.
If Amit's actually good and about what Amit says he's about,
Right. So I thought that was an interesting thought too.
Yeah, because Amit would be able to tell there'd be no hiding his intentions from Amit, so Amit would basically run the scales on him and.
Right.
Interesting.
And if that really is true, what he whispered to Khonshu, that was also sadistic, because he asked the other god, I don't remember which god it was, but he said, can he hear us? And he was like, we think he can. So to go and talk to somebody who can't respond to you and say some sick, twisted stuff like that.
To taunt him, yep.
That's wild, yo. That's wild.
I thought that was some bully stuff too. Like that was some old gangster, you know. You tied up and I'm coming to talk to you. Yeah, I did this to you. Yeah, this me. Like that's the vibe I got.
Yeah. I got that.
Also, I was annoyed with this whole caucus conversation with the Ennead, because I was like, none of y'all could go and peep and see that he was out here digging in the desert. Like, this man just made his accusations, and y'all couldn't just go be like, okay, well, let's go see, is he really out there? Like, this man just accused him of being out there. Because we could have ended this very easily and seen that he got his whole cult is out here, shovels, digging it up. Like,
Well, the avatars would have had to see that, though, right?
Right, but it's like y'all just had y'all portals open up from everywhere around the world to come and have this meeting. Y'all couldn't have been like, y'all know where she's buried. You couldn't have been like, oh, well, let's open a portal and, you know, go peep out there, because y'all would have seen the hundreds of folk out there shoveling up the sand. It was like y'all took this one man's word just because he pointed out that Mark got some mental health issues. Suddenly it was like, okay, well, you know, if he's not okay, well, I guess we can't. It's a safe space. And Mark was like, this isn't about me, though. Like, he's on trial.
Let's also bear in mind that they already don't fuck with Khonshu. They already don't trust Khonshu. They're like, you always bring in some bullshit.
Well, they said he was too garish. It's like, we don't like your methods and your garish in your approach.
And before that, I think, didn't we see or hear in episodes before that the other gods didn't fuck with Khonshu, and he was kind of on the outs with them anyway? I thought we heard that somewhere. So,
but it seems to be because of how he moves.
Well, think about somebody that you don't mess with anymore. If they came to you talking about trying to get you to take some sort of action against somebody else, how inclined would you be to even look into it if it's somebody that you knew is on some bullshit in the past?
But also, the funny part is, it was in regards to someone that they also did even worse than Khonshu. Like, they left Khonshu alive. They buried Amit so that Amit could not wreak havoc any further.
So they should take it. They should at least investigate.
Right, they should have at least investigated.
I agree
or
with
been
that,
like,
at least.
It was like, okay, yes, you don't fuck with him, but he's coming to tell you that someone that y'all don't fuck with even further, that y'all like buried in secrecy to make sure no one could erect. And someone's bringing you to counsel to say that someone is trying to do this. And that's what they said. They're like, these are some very serious allegations. Indeed they are. And y'all didn't even
I made a damn eclipse for the purpose of getting you guys to come together.
He was like, I potentially just like sent tsunamis across.
I know you guys might kill me for this.
He went to sky. That was crazy, man. That part was crazy, yo.
Moon tides. He was like, I just caused tsunamis somewhere to prove a point, to try to stop the horror that I'm pretty sure this man is trying to do. And y'all go, it's me, y'all wanna, cool. Yeah. It's cool.
Dang, I see it both ways now when y'all say it like that. Like,
I'm interested in knowing.
Because it was like, why do all that if it's for some ulterior motive? And why risk yourself, get a turn to stone? And he said that. He was like, once I do this, they're gonna encapsulate me. They're not gonna let me go. So you're gonna have to finish this on your own without me. So, and then it also left us like, Mark was dying, or at least on his deathbed or dead when Khonshu found him. So now that he doesn't have that attachment, is Mark...
Is he alive?
You're like, is he alive? Is he barely hanging on? Does Layla now have to do some stuff?
Yeah.
And what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do being barely alive without the suit now? Without the suit, how much can he really do?
And does all that stuff that he was protecting.
What did y'all think about Layla? What did y'all think about Layla in that fight?
Because I thought she was souped up a little bit. She seemed like she had some souped up, some kind of like, I was like, it was giving very much so super soldier
It's the
energy.
magic marshmallow. It's the magic
That's
marshmallow.
What I thought. I was like, she took that marshmallow because the lady was like, so how are you feeling? And she was like, I'm a little dicey, feel a little anxious. You know, it's been a minute. And then she pulled out that jar of marshmallows. I was like, that was the Alice in Wonderland type of marshmallows.
Yeah, I don't know if they marshmallows, but she ate some little soft,
it was some square thing. It looked like a marshmallow, but
it looked like tofu candy or something.
I was like, it looked like an Alice in Wonderland little marshmallow.
Like when I first saw her take it, I was like, that must be something that's gonna help her power up a little bit. There's something that's gonna come back to that little thing she took a bite out of.
Also, she might because she's actually from, on the passport it says she's actually from Cairo, and then in the show she was like, when Mark was like, why are you here? And she was like, what? You're mad because my name pisses off a few people? Like, if she's actually from there, it's possible she has some ties to all this. Like, because he brought up her necklace. It was a crescent moon. And then we were watching New Rock Stars, and they pointed out her middle name. I forget what her middle name actually is, but her middle name, the translation of her middle name is Flower of the Gods.
And Khonshu wants her. And she's
right,
got that
and Khonshu
crescent
kept
moon.
threatening, you know, that she'd be my next avatar if you don't, you know, do what I need you to do.
You know something else interesting? You know they show the moon in so many scenes. They make it a big deal to show the moon in a bunch of scenes. That scene in the desert where Mark and Steven split again, wasn't that a scene where they had a half moon?
I think so, yeah.
It wasn't a crescent moon like usual. I think this is the first half moon we've seen, so it might mean something later on. It might be something just to jot down or to note down for
also the fact that Shaw was right, and we got the third personality of the introduction of a potential third alter at the beginning when Mark was like, Steven, why'd you do that? That was too far. And Steven was like, fam, that was not me. And he was like, what are you talking
about? Was that Rufino?
Huh?
Rufino? Didn't they call him Rufino?
Who? The other personality?
Yeah, wasn't. I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking this is Layla when they went to talk to Hogarth.
Yeah. I'm talking about Mark when he was when they were fighting with those street fighters, and he came back too and had killed all of them, and Mark was like, Steven, what did you do? And Steven was like, that wasn't me. And they were both, and he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh.
When he looked in the blade, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, what is it? So that means somebody else did it. That means there's somebody else in there.
Or Khonshu found a way to take control for himself. Huh?
Yeah.
And according to New Rockstars, apparently there's another personality in the comics by the name of Jake. He's more street savvy.
He was a New York cab driver. He's street savvy and less, much more callous.
Which means he can handle the fights better than Steven. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is gonna be.
But Steven, I like how they are showing how certain personalities are better at certain things, because you need Steven when you're trying to figure out like where the tomb was buried.
Yep.
Like, cause he's familiar with all that, and I really got a kick. I like that part when they explained how there's no landmarks in the desert, so you had to get familiar with the sky and placement. I got a kick out of that. I was like, man, they dropping some jewels in this episode.
Sense. Yeah,
that is beautiful.
Yeah,
and the science was dope as hell. Where they said, the stars, the sky is not the same now as it was back when this was written.
2,000 years ago. Yeah,
that's some dope science there too. That type of stuff gets me excited. So
yeah, that was
like
dope.
That was drift. Yeah.
But also,
I love that.
I'm just like, what did this mean for the rest of the MCU at large? The fact that this man just spun the whole sky back,
the universe,
2,000 years, the whole universe.
He rewound the universe
2,000 years to get the stars back to the way they were that one night.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that he says, "I remember that night" is important.
He said, "I remember every night." He said, "I remember each night."
That's right. He said, "I remember each night." That's crazy. But I'm
that is crazy.
We had a question about at the end about whether after Khonshu got, or at the end of that, if time spun back to now, or is the world stuck 2,000 years in the past now because of that? I think you said
I thought when Khonshu, when he and Steven couldn't hold it anymore, that the sky went back to present day. But we also did see New Rockstars wonder if the sky just stayed the same. But I thought it reverted back because he was like, I can't hold it much longer.
I think it reverted back.
Yeah, so I think it reverted back.
That would create so much unnecessary drama
Chaos
within the universe as a whole.
Yeah.
But I think also with the spinning of the sky and all that and all the purple energy we were seeing, this is the episode that ties us into the greater MCU.
Mm-hmm. And potentially Multiverse of Madness. Because they definitely dropped Madripoor. So
Madripoor was in use in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's a popular place in the comic books. So when they name dropped that and spoke about that was their first big MCU. This is us also the 2018.
Talking about Black Market, because that's Madripoor all over.
Yep, it's Black Market City.
This was heavily about Black Market.
Yep. And Black Market is the power broker, is the king of the Black Market, which is possibly Sharon Stone,
which we know
from
is Captain
America: Winter Soldier, that movie. That's where she was first introduced. So this is the one that I think ties it into the MCU, and I think this is gonna also, in the end, I want to make sure I say this. I wanted to make sure I said this. Remember, that I think this episode. Not this episode, but this series, since it stops 2 days before Doctor Strange comes out, it's going to have something to do with Doctor Strange. It's going to play into Doctor Strange.
100%. I said that yesterday. This is going to have to tie into Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
When he took the time back, I thought about that. Well, took the sky back.
Yeah.
Because that's some Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that vibe. And I thought that that scene was just so ill. Like,
yeah, that was the way they made the sky. Yeah, it looked like a dope ass rave. It looked like something that if somebody was on E or some crazy ass pills, they'd be having a ball looking at the sky's lights that way. So this is Act 2 of, if we're looking at this like a play, it's Act 2 because
the start of Act 2.
We got 3 acts. We got 6 episodes. So separate the first 2 episodes into Act 1. These 2 are Act 2. So they bring the new drama. And the conflict is at its peak now. This is when you're worried about the hero. The hero's in trouble. I think they did a great job with that.
And the villain has the upper hand.
But I know yesterday when I ended, and I think when we both ended, we both kind of felt a little bit let down by the episode 2, right?
Yeah, we felt a little bit let down. Like some of the chase scenes felt a bit disjointed. It felt like there was something that didn't quite make it completely cohesive during the chase scenes, some of the fight scenes. It didn't feel like peak Marvel
It was underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Peak Marvel capacity, capabilities.
Yeah, I mean the story, what they did with the story is great, but the episode itself was just didn't. Like the fight scenes weren't great.
Yeah, and then we got some backstory.
That's interesting.
Huh?
I like this episode better
than
any of them so far.
Word?
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yep.
New Rockstars was raving over the fight scenes too, like they love them. Did you love the fight scenes?
Now I want to go look at them again because I didn't. They didn't overwhelm me. Like
yeah. Like, is anything memorable about?
But I liked the episode though. Like I wasn't looking at.
And we liked the episode and what we got out of it. It was just like those specific scenes. And then we got some information on the back end from New Rockstars that said the guy that played what was his name? The one who had the tomb and information.
The dude in the robe. That looked like he was naked.
Hogarth.
Yeah, the man who plays him, the actor who played him, actually passed away, and so we were thinking that the episode might have also felt a little bit weird because maybe there was more storyline and they had to take it out because he passed away.
Yeah, and he's also a character in the comics named Midnight Man, who apparently pulls heists all around the world to steal objects such as that sarcophagus. He's a superhero in his own right, and he always steals at midnight, like
But not a superhero though. They said he was more
a villain. Yeah,
a villain.
Oh, he's a thief.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
Well, they said a villain because they said Moon Knight and him bumped heads.
Of course.
Because he was, always stealing stuff, and that was kind of what Layla pointed out. She was like, "You steal this stuff, and yeah, you preserve it, but no one else gets to see it."
Yep.
And so she was like, you're essentially just hoarding all of this science and information.
But the fact that they brought him up and the fact that he was in the series and he's such apparently a prominent character in the comics and he passed away in real life makes me wonder if that's why we got 6 episodes. Maybe they had an arc or a piece of this that was unfinished filming that included him and more, a little bit deeper stuff.
Well, they said he passed after filming finished. I think this was one of those botched. They had to fix it in post and switch up some storyline because of it.
Yeah. And it just feels weird to me that it's 6 episodes. No other series has been just 6 episodes, has it?
But I also think it was 6 episodes so that it would butt right up to Multiverse of Madness.
But they could have started it earlier and still made it butt up. I don't know. And then remember how we talked about that part at the chase scene at the beginning where they're running on the ground at first. Mark is chasing the 2 dudes on the ground. Then all of a sudden, he's on the 2nd floor of a building, jumping onto the roof of a truck, and they're still on the ground. In the next cutscene, that was real disjointed. So I'm like, I wonder if they had to make bad editing decisions like that in order to force the storyline to work.
Yeah.
Now I gotta rewatch that again. But I want to ask y'all, what that makes me think of the part about when he had those guys on the roof, and then he was in the cab and saw him. Remember he jumped out the cab and chased him. What was going on?
I think that was Jake. I think that was Jake, because both he and Steven were like, wait, what? How did we? Huh?
Well, I don't even think we saw from Steven's perspective. Who was it in the car? It was Mark in the car.
It was Mark
in speak Arabic, right?
It was Mark in the car, but then he was like, where are we going? And he said, you asked me to take you to the airport. And that's why they were like, that seems like Steven.
That's how you know it's Jake.
Away.
That's how you know it's Jake, because he was with the cab driver when that personality change took place. They were trying to give you another little hint, like, yo, Jake was a cab driver. Now in this cab driver is talking to him like, yo, hold on, a minute ago you didn't speak Arabic. Now you speak Arabic. Or no, a couple minutes ago you didn't speak English. Now you speak English. So that's interesting. I wonder if Jake lives in Cairo, or whoever. Maybe they're not going to call this personality Jake. Maybe this personality was a cab driver in Cairo and lived in Cairo or something. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this third person.
Yeah, okay.
And that it didn't pop up until they got to Cairo.
Yeah, that it didn't. And I wonder if that's who it was when we saw at the end of episode 2 that the Mark and Steven's body in Cairo. I wonder if that was Jake we were actually seeing at the end of that episode, because he never spoke anything like that, right?
But it was giving Mark vibes because of how he was drinking, or so I thought.
We don't know. We don't know anything about it.
And he had broke the mirror and covered it, which we had just watched him do at the church. when he stomped out Steven.
I wonder. Yeah, well, if Jake is, what if Jake's a secret personality? He's like, yo, I'm not ever letting y'all bandits know I exist. I mean, Jake. I don't know. I'm just curious. It raises a lot of questions. I don't have the answers, and I don't want to.
But we also got the answer that Mark may have been the original identity, because Layla said, "Why didn't you ever tell me?" And he said, "Because I had it under control until very recently."
Yeah. And what was that trigger for recently? Was it you that said you thought that?
I thought it was Khonshu.
The
Like
fact that Khonshu
maybe
came into his life.
Yeah, Khonshu come into his life, busted wide open and split up everything and made everything a little bit more unhinged, through whatever the process was of Khonshu imbuing him with his stuff.
And Khonshu didn't know. Khonshu probably didn't know, and yeah.
Because I can imagine Khonshu picking somebody who's damaged like that.
And that was one of the things that Arthur tried to make him guilty for. He was like, and see, he even preyed on this sick man. See, Khonshu really is who, you guys, don't think he is. And he was just, and you saw Khonshu getting upset through Mark. He was like, no, like, this is not what this is about. You're trying to do this horrible thing. And he was like, see, and then the gods put out Khonshu and was like, we'd like to speak with Mark.
Because Khonshu couldn't hold his temper. Because Khonshu tried to swing on him. And that might be why they stopped listening to him.
Yeah.
That might be like, we're not going to
his anger came out. He was like, F it, I just got to deck this guy.
Yeah. I wonder how they summoned Arthur too. Like, how did Arthur know to come into the temple at that time and all that if he's not an avatar or something like that? How did they get...
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, he just kind of walked into the temple. So there's a bunch of things like this.
He seems to be dabbling in so much stuff, because they said, let's summon the accused. But he seems to, like, it seems like they know of what everybody is, like, some degree what everybody is up to.
But they didn't know that Khonshu had Mark and that Mark was unwell.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it's all very weird.
There's a bunch of questions that are raised. I like the questions.
I think that what's his name, Arthur? I think that they know of, like you said, Yanni, they know of what, kind of like what's going on. And I just think, just like when Khonshu told Mark, he was like, I'll be there. He's like, are you coming? He's like, I'll be there. I think them boys just throw a little portal up, and Arthur just was walking in, like, like.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because he'd be familiar with the portals too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he may have been expecting it too.
Especially
Arthur
since he
seems
keeps
like he's
opening them with his staff, so it's like he clearly knows enough about what goes on to have figured some stuff out. Like, and the fact that he said the staff that he wields was given to Amit's first avatar. So also, what happened to Amit's first avatar?
See, I love having you on here. You remember so many of these little small details.
Because he was like, the staff was gifted to Amit's first avatar before they betrayed her. So what did they do, and how did they betray her? But also, what happened to that avatar? Where's that avatar?
Now you got me speculating, because now I'm like, is Arthur even good, man? Does he want to get to the...
I don't think Arthur's good, especially after...
Does he want to raise Amit?
Hmm?
I'm questioning that now. Does he want to get to the tomb to really raise Amit? Or does he want to get there to cover his tracks somehow?
Or to prevent Amit from raising so that Amit can't judge him.
Yeah, I think it's all for power play. I think he's looking for things and tools that he can continue to use in his arsenal to swoop himself up to be a big bad. Purposes. Yeah, serve his purposes.
I like that.
I think the Amit thing is just a mask if Amit really is who he is saying that she is, and really is the balancing of the scales. Because she would know that he's up to BS.
Yeah, I feel that.
And she would come out that mug and just...
Dude, I'm definitely gonna rewatch it. I'm gonna watch it again.
It's a good one. I think we might be getting more concise unless we got something else too, which is good because we don't want people watching an hour-long episode.
Exactly.
And avoid it.
This is perfect. Yeah. Notes matter.
Yes, they do.
For me, they matter, yo. They matter.
And I didn't get anywhere near as many as I wanted, but yeah, all my notes have been covered, man. So this is great. I love this, man. This is great shit. Oh, other thing that I thought was important to at least state was Khonshu called the armor that Mark gets healing armor. If it's healing armor, is there a chance that this armor will somehow be available to Mark now that Khonshu's encapsulated, and that maybe that'll heal Mark, and maybe he needs to stay in the Moon Knight form in order to stay alive?
Right.
Since it looks like he's out.
And can he summon the suit without Khonshu being at his disposal?
Well, here's a thought. Arthur is able to draw on the power of Amit through that staff still, without Amit being possibly encapsulated. So maybe Mark can still draw on the armor, which is maybe the equivalent of the staff that Arthur has. So, just food for thought for next week. I'm excited. Can't wait till next week, man.
Word. Hey, man.
And why?
Y'all got me thinking now.
And I'm also like, why would they let Arthur stay in there if Arthur isn't an actual avatar at the moment?
Yeah,
why did they leave him in there by themselves? Why did they let him go and talk to Khonshu? And like, why trust this person that was just on trial?
Yeah, because honestly, if I were Arthur and I had that dark of a heart, that little statue would have been smashed on the floor immediately. This is my biggest enemy. Make sure he don't come get me. Boom. Smash.
The only reason why he couldn't have done it, because then that would have blown him wide open, and all the gods would have been like, "Oh, so he was right about you." Pew, pew.
You're right. And
that would out him. That would have defeated everything he just did.
Yeah, it would stop him from continuing with whatever his plan is.
Exactly.
His nefarious plot. Yeah.
Because when he was brought before the gods, they said Arthur is accused of conspiracy.
Yep.
To
resurrect Amit.
Bring Amit back. To release Amit. So.
And they said, that's quite that's quite an accusation. It was like, that's not a light.
So now I take it back. The gods are slipping because they should. Yeah, the gods are slipping on that. You're right. Like, okay.
Because it's like, how do you not investigate that? Like, you just said this is a large accusation, and y'all ain't want to go peep in the desert. Like, y'all said you know where he's buried. Why ain't nobody just go say, oh, someone is out there. Oh, shit.
Maybe because you're a god, they give you the benefit of the doubt.
They didn't cost you the benefit.
But he already got a marred rep. He got a bad rep.
Amit has the bad rep too. She's literally buried in secrecy.
But does Arthur have a bad rep with them?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find all this out.
I'm also interested to see if Shorty, who told him about where to find whatever, I want to know what is her
that avatar.
What is that avatar that helped him out? Like, what is her I think she was the god of the
goddess of the sky.
Yeah. What is her motives? Because she made it seem like her and Khonshu used to, knock boots or have some sort of.
No, that's not the goddess of the sky. She's just goddess of love and music.
Who's also the goddess of the sky in actual Egyptian culture.
Okay, my bad. Okay, give me right. Right. Okay.
So love and music and the sky, and so kind of like, and it makes sense. The moon and the sky go hand in hand. That's cute. Whatever.
Got you.
But I'm also curious as to, does she have nefarious tinglings? Like, is she really up to something? Does she genuinely want to help? And is she really giving the benefit of the doubt to Khonshu because of their past love? Or does she have some sort of potential nefarious drives? Because something New Rockstars pointed out is the theme of Arthur's people and Amit seem to have the same color red that's associated with them, and she was wearing a red dress. So I wonder if she might have some ulterior motives, and what did she just go send them out there in the desert to find? And is it something that could help them resurrect Amit, or is it really something to help them negate what Arthur was trying to do?
So the god she represents is Hathor, Hathor. And this thing I'm reading right now, this is from the EgyptianMuseum.org. It says Hathor was one of the 42 state gods and goddesses of Egypt, and one of the most popular and powerful. She was the goddess of many things: love, beauty, music, dancing, fertility, and pleasure. She was the protector of women, though men also worshipped her. She had priests as well as priestesses in her temples. So I don't see anything about the sky in here, so we gotta look that one up too. That was New Rock Stars that said the sky thing, so we gotta look that up and see what we find out. I'm not gonna doubt it at all yet. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. But with the love, beauty, music, dancing, and fertility, and pleasure, all of this might be interesting. All of this is gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Because that's what she said. She was like, it was not long that he enjoyed my melodies and my music and something. Okay, Hawthorne
and
the goddess of the sky, of women, of fertility and love.
You got the sky. Okay, perfect. See, where did that come from?
Some British.
Britannica.
Yeah.
That's an old encyclopedia. Encyclopedia Britannica. So now it's a website. Okay.
Yeah. So goddess of the sky, of women, of fertility, of love. Strongly associated with motherhood, cows, closely connected to the sun god, Ra. Oh, Ra, my bad.
Yo, Kareem, you got a bunch of encyclopedias there at the crib. It'd be interesting to see what your encyclopedias have in comparison to the websites.
Interesting.
But yeah, I looked it up.
So I wonder if that's gonna tie in somehow, because she was wearing the same color as Arthur.
Oh, that's another point to point out that we got from New Rock Stars again. Red. All the people who seem to be in opposition to Moon Knight or Khonshu so far in the series have been wearing red.
This tone of red.
Certain tones of red. From Arthur wearing that red shirt. The guy that fell off the cliff, he was wearing a red scarf before he died.
Yeah.
She is wearing a red dress, we noticed, which makes me wonder if she's,
ulterior motives.
And then there were a couple other instances of red too. What's the dude's name?
The detectives. They had red, like one had on a red jacket, and I think one had like a reddish tone pants or something.
And then the guy that was wearing the robe at the end, Midnight, whatever the Midnight Man, he was wearing a red robe at the end or during his scene. So red is definitely.
It also made it seem like him and Layla had some past entanglements.
Just like you were talking about red with Servant.
With Servant?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
Oh yeah, we can see it.
They got Hawthorne there.
Hawthorne's right next to Ra, right? Yep. Okay. Yeah. What's the name of that book again?
This they call it the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying? I'm sorry, dude.
Oh.
Okay. We got it. Are we good?
Yeah.
I'm
good. I said everything I wanted to say.
Dive. Are you gonna go see Multiverse of Madness?
Possibly. Maybe.
Possibly. I would like to.
Okay.
You got to.
I would like to.
Yeah. Then I'm pretty sure you're gonna be seeing it. We'll talk offline. Yo, just a heads up, a reminder, we're hitting New York. So if, we got to talk about that later on today. I just want to put that bug in your ear. We're hitting next week. I just want to put the bug in your ear. We'll talk offline after that too, okay? But yeah, man, this is beautiful, man. I like this.
I enjoyed it. Like,
yeah, I wish I could send you. Cameras that way.
Cameras, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, this is beautiful, Kareem, man. I love this, man. Again, thank you for riding with us on this, and babe, thank you for.
I enjoy it.
Y'all make this really work, man. Y'all really, making my day every time we do this, man. So I appreciate y'all for this.
I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely appreciate you, Pitchfork, the hardest working man in show business, man. I'm telling you.
No business right now. We ain't making no damn money.
That's true, but
I'm just playing. Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, happiness is coming for all. Well, happiness is here, but we got something coming. We got something good coming.
The stability is coming. We got the happiness. The stability is
keep
coming.
Keep investing. That's all.
Invest in native currency.
Native currency.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. GRYSKLL.com.
Shout them out.
Some merchandise.
ZonePitchfork.com, an actual website's gonna be coming at some point in time in the future.
Pitchfork.
We got the regular Zone Pitchfork show. We got Zone Pitchfork Watchlist now, which is what you're watching right now. GRYSKLL, the show. We're dropping a song every week of the year. So check GRYSKLL.com/music for the songs. Merch, man. Support us so we can keep doing this. Hit the websites, KareemMuse.com. There's some dope Zoe merch. Hit houseoffluidreflections.com, which is Yanni's baby. There's some dope merch on there, and there's more coming. And Native Currencies coming to it.
Season 2 is on the way.
Artist Touch Season 2 on the way. Do you want to speak on what Artist Touch is? Briefly, give a one-liner, give the elevator a speech.
Artist Touch is a talk show that we host. We highlight creators and their story because we believe that people forget all too often that creators are human beings and we have stories ourselves, and we're not just whatever commodity, product, service that we provide. We are humans, we have stories, and our stories are part of what make our art what it is. So through Artist Touch, we share creator stories from all different walks of life and let you get to know them even better and have even more reason to support who they are and what they do.
So houseoffluidreflections.com. Get to know the person behind the persona on all these artists.
Yep.
Just dropped that this morning.
Support.
Support. We get all the websites: KareemMuse.com, DragonsPitchfork.com, GRYSKLL.com, GRYSKLL.com, houseoffluidreflections.com, and have a good day and be calm.
Word. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, do we have a special outro or anything? I don't remember. I know we got the...
We can
like, comment, share, and subscribe. There are other channels.
Comment down below what you felt about episode 3. Are you team Mark, Steven, and what do you think about this third personality? Is Mark or Steven dead? Let us know. Is Layla got some sort of superpower? Do you think?
I think so.
Got some sort of vibes going on? Is she connected to the Ennead? Let us know what you think in the comment section.
And you can still make a decision, even though Yanni's not going to pick Team Amit or Team Khonshu. All right, that's it?
That's it.
Peace. All right, Chief, we'll holler at you later, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
We got to go over to Home Depot, pick up some shit real quick.
Did you get the email? Did it say it's ready?
I didn't look, but I know we got to stop by IKEA. We got the bedroom. I gotta send you another pic. No, I think you saw the video. The carpet's all up. We got that out on the curb. Yeah. So now I just got a dirty ass subfloor to go pound some nails into. Get rid of all the creaks and shit. So that's the next task over here. What you got going on next, man? What you get into today?
Man, I might finish this backyard if it don't rain, but right now I've been on some music. I woke up on some music today, so I think I'm gonna just put something out, man. Like just
dope. That's a win, man. What's the name? Little House is dope, man. I fuck with that tough, man. I love that.
Yeah. I'm recording everything like I'm sending it now, so that's why it's not mixed.
Good. It's perfect, man. I listened to it before we got started here today. I finally got to hear it down here in the lab, so it sounded good down here. The drums sounded really good, man. I love your kicks on that. The kick pattern on that is dope as hell.
Man, it's all right, man. It's all right.
It's a win. Like, I would never think to do it. I know myself, and like I know patterns like that. I don't have patterns like that in my catalog, so anytime I hear kick patterns that I know that don't really like, that don't come out of me, I always get excited about that shit. So.
You know how I did that one?
How's that?
I did it. I listened to Vern. Like I did it totally differently. I did the sample, and then I muted the sample, and then I just did a drum.
Really?
I did it separately, and then I didn't listen to it, and then I put it together. I knew the drum was solid, because I did the drum. The drum was solid, the hits and everything, and then I put the sample with it. It had to go. Wow. If I like them separate, I like them together.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that and try that as a technique coming up. Now I don't think I've tried that one before to make a drum loop and pair it with the sample. I know that's how DJs usually what makes DJs good at this shit. So, and I never start. I rarely start with just drums. Huh? Yeah. Shout out Vern.
Vern kind of like he ain't tell me to do that, but he's like, fuck with your drums. like it's almost you can't lose if the drums are good.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Man. I feel that, man. Bro.
But I'm not gonna hold y'all up, man.
All right, Chief. Well, enjoy, man. We'll holler throughout the day.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Chief. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, above characterization, words spoken abstractly, bad grammar and good grammar mashed together, universal language. If you comprehend, that's where it should end, and you do. So you and I are friends. Visibility can be a degree, as in the angle of your mentality. The development of that city between the ears, above the titty. Sewage issues involve more than tissues. Don't let your emotions be misused. That's what I do, drop jewels. I'm an MC, that's what I always be. Minimally mixed, in the words by me. I don't fall for tricks, I set the traps. I've been laying low, now it's time to go public. I'm like the wind, or the reason why rivers flow. There's a bigger picture that God didn't share. You don't need to know, that's my brain talking. In the rain, sleepwalking, I hear the gossip and bullshit logic, like they know my soul, my purpose, my role. They know their name and maybe how old. Going by what they were told, I say eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Break the rigmarole. You fancy, huh? Well, what do you know?